Why should you use air yards per target, TGT, for fantasy? Imagine knowing not just how often a player is targeted but how far downfield those targets are. That's where air yards per target comes into play. It measures the average distance the ball travels through the air to a player each time they are targeted. To find it, you divide the total air yards a player gets by their number of targets. This number tells you a lot about the type of opportunities a player is getting in the passing game. Air yards are the yards the ball travels in the air from the line of scrimmage to the point where the receiver is targeted. It does not include yards gained after the catch. When you look at air yards per target, you see the average depth of each target. This helps you understand if a player is mainly catching short, safe passes or if they're being targeted on longer, more explosive plays. For fantasy football, this metric is super useful because it shows the quality of a player's targets. A higher air yards per target usually means the player is involved in deeper passes, which can lead to bigger yardage totals and more chances for touchdowns. On the flip side, a lower number suggests the player is mostly catching shorter, more predictable passes, giving a steadier but lower ceiling. Air yards per target also helps you spot players with big play potential. Even if a player has a moderate number of targets, if their air yards per target is high, they might be undervalued. That's because their opportunities are more likely to turn into big gains. It also helps you see if a player is efficient with their deep targets. If they have high air yards per target but low yards after catch or conversion ratios, it might mean they're not capitalizing on those chances. This metric is pretty stable from year to year, making it a good predictor of future performance. If a player's air yards per target increases, it could signal they're being used more downfield, which might boost their fantasy value. Conversely, a drop might mean the offense is shifting to shorter passes or the quarterback is less confident in throwing deep. Using air yards per target helps you understand the true nature of a player's role in the offense. It shows whether they're a possession receiver or a big play threat. It also helps you make smarter decisions when choosing players or adjusting your lineup during the season. If a player's air yards per target jumps, they could be primed for a breakout. If it dips, it might be time to reconsider their upside. In short, this metric adds a layer of context to raw target counts. It helps you see beyond just how many times a player is targeted and reveals how valuable those targets really are. That's why using air yards per target can give you an edge in understanding player potential and making better fantasy football choices.